The Huntsman is quite the fan favourite among the cast of characters we have in Monster Hunter World. He is very mysterious and is clearly held to a high regard by many of the other leading characters in the story, but with as mysterious as his demeanour may seem, it may not be the first time we've actually seen him in the series. In this video we're going to be going over who the Huntsman is, his possible connection to a character from the Freedom series, and their similarities and clues that tie the two characters together. As always, a like would be extremely appreciated if you do enjoy the video, and without wasting any more time, let's jump right into it. The Huntsman is a veteran member of the First Fleet who came to the New World 40 odd years ago to investigate the Elder Crossing. He is regarded as the best of the best in the First Fleet, a true master hunter that is regarded as the best by even the Admiral, who mentions that he would be bested by the Huntsman as a hunter, but not at arm wrestling. In addition to this, the Huntsman is suggested to have trained the field team leader, grandson to the commander, and his skills would only be bested many years later once the Sapphire Star, that of course being ourselves, arrive in the New World to help investigate the Elder Crossing. But as I mentioned earlier, this isn't the first time we see this character. It is speculated that he is the same hunter that we see in the intro cinematic from Monster Hunter Freedom Unite. The main and most visual aspect of their similarities being the Rathian armor, with the younger hunter in Unite starting to use the Master Rank version of the armor, of course at the time it being called G Rank, and weirdly enough, the Huntsman does not wear the exact same variant. Instead he rocks a customized high rank armor design of the Rathian armor, but with the Master Rank helmet. This could be a case where he had the set altered to perform like the Master Rank version, with all of its quote-unquote statistics in the in-game world, but with the visuals of the high rank armor almost like a layered armor set. Other than the visual differences, there are a few little things that are shared between the Huntsman and the Unite intra-cinematic hunter. The first of which being their use of the greatsword. While the Huntsman uses the longsword in-world, this could easily be due to his age, with the greatsword being too heavy and the longsword being a natural derivative for blade size and weight. And in addition to this, another hint is that the field team leader, who is a greatsword user, is a student of the Huntsman, so it would make sense that the Huntsman is very proficient with the greatsword as he wields it during the events of Unite, and at some point between Unite and World gave up the greatsword, most likely due to age and the weight of the weapon as I said, and this all adds up given he is frequently complaining about his age taking a toll on him, but at the end of the day the skill in using the greatsword remains with him to teach it to the future generations, regardless of whether or not he is still capable of physically handling a greatsword to a long duration, as of course in a hunt he's not going to be able to quickly clean up the monster in a very swift fashion. He is probably going to have to take his time, and with a greatsword I'm sure it probably uses up a lot of energy over a lot of time given the weight of the weapon. You can just see it through the character when you're swinging a greatsword, how much of a swing they actually have to do in order to move the weight of the weapon. But regardless, I think this is a plausible part of the theory that connects the two characters, as I really don't think it would make sense for the Huntsman to train the field team leader if he didn't have experience using the greatsword, as I feel like a hunter's fighting style, a lot of it revolves around the weapon they're using. So I feel like this piece of information is definitely a strong argument for the Huntsman being the same character from Freedom Unite. And then another character that would be an example of Capcom bringing back a character just to further support the Huntsman's connection to the Unite character would be the excitable A-lister from Monster Hunter World, who returned after his appearance as the Ace Cadet in Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. So I would say it isn't too far-fetched for Capcom to have brought back our Rathian armor wearing hunter all the way back in Freedom Unite and brought him back as a much older and wiser version in Monster Hunter World. Finally, we have the Huntsman's history with the Teostra. It is more of a what could have happened scenario here, as there are only a few implicit mentions to this bout, but it is likely that this would have taken place in the old world, which is understandable given the age of the Huntsman. With it being in the old world, there are only a handful of locales where this could have taken place, with arguably the most likely location being the tower. This was considered to be one of the most deadliest places in the old world, attracting many elder dragons, including the likes of the black dragon Fatalis. It's plausible to think that this encounter with Teostra was very memorable for the Huntsman, as it would have been a battle against an incredibly dangerous foe in an incredibly dangerous and iconic location. In the Freedom Unite intro, it does conclude with a zooming shot of the tower, hinting that the hunter is heading towards it, only further suggesting it to be the location of the Huntsman's battle with the Teostra. And while there is not any official information confirming the connection between these two characters, there are definitely a lot of hints and references that Capcom have left in this game, and I would not be surprised at all if they came to confirm the connection in the future. But regardless, it's always fun to make our own headcanon using fairly reasonable logic and clues scattered in the game. But with that said, it does bring us to the end of this video and concludes the history of the Huntsman and everything we know about his character, history, and potential beginnings. Let me know down below what you guys think of the Huntsman, whether or not he's one of your favourite characters from World and maybe even the franchise, and if you think he is the same hunter we saw all the way back in Monster Hunter Freedom Unite's intro cutscene, and I look forward to reading all of your comments. Be sure to hit that like button if you did enjoy, it is extremely appreciated, it does help out the channel a ton, and subscribe for a lot more Monster Hunter content. And just as a quick note to finish off the video before I close it out fully, I am aware guys that I have been slacking with the Monster Hunter content, and I feel like I just didn't want to do anything that was review or reaction based on Monster Hunter Wilds content, so I was just waiting until I had that flare up in energy to do some more classic and old school content on Monster Hunter while we wait for Monster Hunter Wilds to release, as I'm sure there are a bunch of reactions out there and I didn't want to add to it, as I feel like my reaction wouldn't be very great, or at least as entertaining compared to some of the other reaction channels that I see out there. And I do apologise for that, and there definitely will be a lot more Monster Hunter content on the way this month and going forward, so I hope you guys stay tuned for that. Don't forget to join our Discord, link is at the top of the description. There are a lot of awesome other players in there. We're playing Monster Hunter and a bunch of other games ranging from like Pokemon, Legend of Zelda to Resident Evil, as of course there would be a lot of Resident Evil players in there, as of course my channel does have a lot of Resident Evil content on it now, but I did try to make it as clear as possible with the branding, especially on my banner, that it is a bit of a mix between Monster Hunter and Resident Evil on the channel at the moment, and for the time being it's probably going to stay that way. But I might branch out in the future, who knows where this channel can go, but of course I will try my best to make sure the content is aimed at you guys. But regardless, the point being, definitely join our Discord, and thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.